All right, let's get started. It is 6:36, 6:37 PM. Type B Economic Development Corporation and Parks Board meeting on September 11th. Kim's birthday. Let's see, citizens forum, call to order and announce quorum. So we do have a quorum. Citizens forum, I don't believe we have anybody speaking this evening.
No, sir.
Training, regular agenda, review and discuss questions related to the budget report and financial statement for August of 2023. Mr. Peacock.
Well, as you will see, we hit the 100% of our budget projections. We're at 101.60 with 1 month to go for over $10,000. So that's good. You'll also see investment earnings. We've made some changes in actually there'll be some changes to the council this month on our investment policy. We have made a few changes and gone with a different organization that does a lot of local government stuff. And so y'all got some funds invested in that. So we're getting a little bit better interest return on those. That money is available. It's kind of just like a checking account on steroids, I guess, just a little better interest rate. So we're up in that area. We had some issues with the Baseball Association with license and some of the permits and fees. They collected money for spring ball this past season, but never managed to come pay the city. And so they decided they weren't sure. What they told me was they weren't sure how that was supposed to happen or who was supposed to do it. And anyway, when we told them that fall ball was canceled until they got that squared away, they figured it out. They brought us up the documents and a check, and so they paid for fall ball, and then we got a check this afternoon they paid for spring, and they've already paid for fall ball. It's fixing to start. It hasn't quite started yet, so they've got some turnover going on in that organization again. I think they're actually without a president at the moment. What I heard. So I think the treasurer is kind of doing everything, and once we send him the contract and what all he's supposed to be doing, they've been doing that. So that number will change and get back more in line. Expenses for this month, there were no real big issues. The splash pad, of course, has been running. We shut it off on Labor Day as the normal shut off time. In years past, we've kept it open for a little while if temperatures were really hot. Last year we opted not to do it, but we weren't in record heat wave. I don't recall as we are now. We had a little bit of a leak that had developed this time. We weren't sure we were going to be able to stay open, but we were able to get that dealt with pretty easily. And so it's open on the weekends as long as the temperatures are up in the 90s and 100s. We wanted to leave it on a little bit. There's a few people that had rented the park pavilion and stuff on the weekends and weren't wanting it. So, we thought it was all right to probably do. So we have done that. And we haven't been asked by JSUD to restrict the water again. So I know they were getting close to that next stage, but that continues to operate. The stuff, just nothing really big that jumps out. It's all just been pretty normal stuff, and the water bill will start to go down now with the splash pad being off, and we're just moving right along. And I'll take any questions that you have if you have any, but we are still down the park manager position, but we have interviewed one. We had another one submit stuff over the weekend that is very experienced. It looks like it's
not coming in, that application.
no, we're just being very selective on
Okay.
who we choose. And I've told them not to bring me anyone that has not spent 4 or 5 years in a park, actually working in one, that knows about field maintenance and irrigation. And I prefer, we've got one that's got multiple certifications and that stuff, pesticide stuff. They're just, we haven't talked to the second one, like I said, we just got that stuff today. We are going to call the first one back in for a second interview. And we're going to, I think, invite this other one to come in. He currently works for the Parks Department in Fort Worth. And he supervises, I think, what they call the Central District, several parks and trails and stuff in
I
that.
should
So,
not pay in line with what he wants. I guess so.
well, it should be because it's posted what it is. So, but what he's making now is within what we're talking about. So we'll keep working on that, but so that, that some of that money is going to be freed up and you'll have some money probably. Well, it'll probably help balance out the expenses in the park for some park maintenance stuff we went over. But it kind of looks like that you'll end up with a little leftover from this year's budget that you'll be able to put back in your fund balance, which is currently at $756,476.
You remind me what on the transfers down here for the 2022-3, what the transfer to CIP is? What is
What
that?
page are you on?
Oh, well, I have one page. Yeah.
Well, you're looking at the audit.
You're looking at the proposed
Yeah,
budget.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's online,
Yeah.
what you're looking for.
Oh.
You need to look at on the financials. What was the line item you're asking about?
Yeah.
Transfer to CIP.
Merle has trained here.
That's money that's proposed to fund capital over 25,000.
I got a question, Mike.
Okay.
On the financial statement as of August 31st,
Mhm.
and I'm probably reading it wrong, but the park pavilion rental fee, the fees. $501 in the hole.
Not. We budgeted 1,000 and we've collected 1,501. We're 501 in the red.
Okay, that's a.
Government accounting, remember, we're
Yeah,
backwards.
Okay. Yeah. So we've only made $101 for the entire year off the rental of that place?
No, we've made 1,500. We only budgeted 1,000. We've made 1,500.
Okay, all right, okay, I told you, all right. I'm clear.
What does it cost to rent a pavilion?
It's not much. It's a lot of people rent it.
They do.
I didn't
There
realize.
was a crowd down there.
It depends on if there's a different structure if you live outside the city versus in.
I've already- Well, I did.
Better hope so if he's trying.
All right, any more questions on agenda one, for the, related to the budget report, financial statement? Agenda number 2, discuss, consider, and possible action on the August 14th, 2023 meeting.
Motion that we accept the August 14th, 2023.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. To approve the meeting minutes from August 14th. All in favor? Motion passed. And number three, discuss, consider, and possible action on the approval of the proposed fiscal year 2023-24 annual budget. Mr. Tito.
Okay, so this, the one that's in your package, you can disregard. The one that's laying out there loose is Lana let us know right at 5 o'clock today that she hadn't sent the right one over. So the one that you have in front of you is correct. For this year, we're proposing revenues of 1.999 million. And the reason that is so incredibly high is because of the 1.265 million for the park upgrades. That's why that number is so high. The administrative fees, $15,000. Business development, which is really not what it sounds like, but capital outlay, though, that stuff, that money that for equipment that are buying, this year's budget is proposed to have two, it's supposed to have a new infield machine for the ball fields. Then you got the 380 agreement expenses that are remember that coffee shop, Starbucks, part of the agreement that was done when Starbucks was coming. So those are reimbursements into them for sales tax. Entryway sign banners, which is something that we always purchase. Advertising, that number hasn't changed. Community events has been increased up a little bit. We've got some things that we're planning with the chamber. Some things down on Main Street. They're talking about street dance down here. They're talking about a fall festival down here. They're talking about doing the Christmas deal again that we did last year. Was that Christmas?
Yeah.
It was Christmas. And even expanding upon that, we're even looking at maybe trying to come back and do some sort of little Christmas parade. I'm not sure how that's going to look yet, but there's some people that thought we were too quiet last December, I guess. So they're working with the chamber, working to put some of those things together.
Last December was really nice. But what you had going, it was
Yeah.
a big success.
Yeah, the deal down here is great. So
Yeah.
I know. Debt service, that's the bond payment for the bonds that you just let. And then the park improvements money is laid out down here, the 1.265. And then the transfers to the general fund would be 460,669. That is the money for the salaries and day-to-day operations of the park. We are not adding any more full-time positions this year. We're still at 4, and that will stay. And I'm hoping to get this new park manager in place before we hire another person. I don't want another person taught the wrong way. So we've got lots of applications, a few that have some experience in parks or lawn maintenance that we may bring in and talk to, but nobody. I mean, if the right guy just fell in our laps, I'd pull the trigger, but so far that hasn't happened. So with that, total expenditures of 1.982790. And again, it's not a whole lot more than last year. This has just got all the park improvements in it. And with that, I'll take any questions or comments or corrections. You want to give them more money, I'm sure they'll spend it.
I don't think I have any questions. Does anybody else have?
I got nothing.
So, guess we're looking for a motion to approve the proposed fiscal year 2023-24 annual budget.
I'll make a motion, we approve the budget as presented.
Second. Okay, all in favor of approving the proposed 23-24 annual budget? Passed. All right, executive session. Pursuant to section 551.072 of the Texas Government Code, to discuss renewable, for a purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. All right, gonna reconvene in the regular session in accordance with the Texas Government Code, section 551, the type A of type B economic. Type B Economic Development Corporation will reconvene in the regular session and consider action, if any, on matters discussed in the executive session. So.
Nothing, there's no action for y'all to take.
Okay. All right, so no action. Regular session, or excuse me, from the executive session. Future agenda items for next month.
This park over here on it, off of Eddie.
Okay, so I will get you that information. At what is to be, we have to do a special call meeting. Because the paperwork for the bonds that were issued for the park, they need to be formally approved by this board prior to the council approving them next week. So sometime between in the next 72 hours and next Thursday, we need to try to find a time where we can get a quorum to formally approve those documents.
Do we need to try to set a time now?
We do, a time and a date.
So.
And it may be, it may be easy. We might be able to get enough people during the day to knock it out.
Swing that, but if not, I mean, I'm good for next Monday evening as well. Either now or Wednesday morning, going back to I'll make you available Monday.
But that would make you available that Monday night,
The
I can
18th.
be here Monday.
following Monday night.
Monday night, fine.
I did.
Y'all want 6, 6:30,
What
7?
is that, the 18th?
The 18th. Five, 5:30.
About 5:30.
Make 5 o'clock be better.
I don't care.
Talking about a bunch of people.
See y'all at lunch Monday or? You can see.
5
5 o'clock Monday.
Okay, perfect.
o'clock.
And so what I'll do, we'll get an agenda done up. We'll have the approval of the bond documents. And then we'll get approval. I'll put it on for action for this park property. I'll get the fund balance of that park fund and see what else is made up, and then we'll see about making an offer.
Thank you.
Any other agenda items? Okay. 7:15, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.